pop music blaring out and everything has been quite a muted sort of build-up, but we are ready. The officials are ready. The two sets of players are ready, and as far as I can tell, Chippenham are kicking uphill in the first half. It looks like that, and towards the end where the Lincoln City fans are, I think it's about 500 as the two sets of players take the knee, have made the trip here, and applause for all the players taking the knee from the fans around us, and we're just waiting for the referee to blast on his whistle and get the game underway. And we are waiting for him still. He's very patient.
Yeah, fair play to the Lincoln City fans coming down. It's not a glamour tie, is it? Let's be honest. So good response from them to come down.
It is a long ball downfield from Chippenham, and that is going to bounce out of play. Very calm play from Regan Poole, the Lincoln City captain. And on this formation, it's still going to be Aoma who takes the throw, and he throws long downfield, and it's won by a Chippenham player, and they're heading it towards Lincoln goal, and away by O'Connor. Back to the Lincoln goal again. Rowan looks to try and win it, but Chippenham getting a touch, and then it breaks for Robson on the left-hand side. He plays it over the halfway line, looking for Draper to win the challenge, and it comes off a Chippenham player and out of play. We're told that, I haven't taken you through the Chippenham team actually, we're told they'll play 4 at the back, with Hamilton, Richards, Midturn and Jones in front of Henry, the keeper. And then 2 holding players in Mayhew and Russ, and then Bray, Hanks and Bradbury behind Parsons is their formation. Lincoln City with their 3 centre-halves, although it has to be said Aoma at the moment is pushed right onto the halfway line, receives the ball now just in front of us. And watching the run of the ball, it's pretty true.
Yeah, it's not bad at all, the pitch, Michael, actually. You know, I'm just watching Aoma and Paul O'Connor just roll the ball to each other, and it kind of doesn't take too many bobbles. So there's no real excuses out there. So I think we'll see a lot of this. I think we'll see a lot of patient build-up from ourselves, plenty of possession, but it's then can we unlock, can we get Teddy Bishop, can we get these front players on half-turn and cause some problems? That's going to be the key.
Well, it is with Aoma, and back towards O'Connor, and across and into feet of Rowan. Interesting in the build-up. Head coach Kennedy talking about Rowan as a centre-half more than a full-back. Clearly he's done an excellent job so far as the ball goes out of play for a throw for Chippenham. Had a muted start to this. The noise we can hear is predominantly from the Lincoln City fans away to our left.
Yeah, Lincoln just doing exactly what they need to do, is keep the ball, just don't do anything silly in the first 20 minutes, just keep Chippenham at arm's length, keep possession, and just don't give this crowd a chance to get up.
Burnham's away, down the left-hand side, got a runner inside of him, and the ball goes out of play for a throw to the home side. It was a challenge from Hamilton, and it's going to be a throw, but so far in the early couple of minutes, you'd say Lincoln have probably had about 60-65% of the possession, but it's all been well away from the Chippenham goal. Will Henry, the keeper for Chippenham, all in green this afternoon, should say the home record in the league is very good. They've had 4 wins here. All of their wins this season have come here. As Lincoln compete for it, and the ball's played high downfield. Can't get it through to Draper. Vernon competing for it. And Draper chases after it. Ball chipped long downfield, and it's going to skip out of play for a throw for Lincoln City halfway inside the Imps half, and it's taken quickly by Rowan. Interesting, but it looks like Rowan and Aoma are going to be on the throwing duty, even though they're both playing as centre halves today. Poole, the captain, a long ball downfield. Draper trying to win it, does well, tries to chest it down, but it's picked up in midfield by Chippenham, clear to the halfway line. And built down their left, the Lincoln right, but it goes backward. It was Russ in possession, and the captain Hamilton plays it back to goal, and now it's a chance for Will Henry, the keeper, to clear long over the halfway line. Flicked on, ball comes through, bit of hope and a touch from Rowan. It hits a teammate, and Lincoln just struggling for a second, but tidy things up, and they get it wide to the left-hand side to Robson. Shocking bright green boots.
Yeah, they are bright.
Yes.
Yeah, but just at the moment there, Sean Rowan just did really well. A little bit of a battle with 2 Chippenham players, and he came out on top, managed to get the loose ball. And that's what they're going to have to do. When Chippenham get possession, they're just going to have to make sure they close down and be physical with these Chippenham players. try and win back the ball quickly.
Just another note on the formation. Bishop playing on the, certainly at the moment, on the right of the three at the front, Burnham on the left. Ioma unchecked, runs halfway inside the Chippenham half. Now Poole back towards O'Connor, and dropping deep now is Sanders, and plenty of touches for the red and white shirts, but no real attempts on goal at the moment.
No, it's good. It just look, the atmosphere's gone, hasn't it?
Yep. It's
just drained already from the crowd. The energy from the crowd's drained, and it's just Lincoln just total control of possession here. Yeah, you know, we don't mind this at the moment. It's when the game develops, can they then open Chippenham up? Chippenham are just dropping in, allowing us to have the ball, which is great because I just think it kills the crowd a little bit. It stops the crowd getting up, stops the players feeding off the crowd. So at the moment, a reasonably good start for us.
The goal behind the stand behind Will Henry. It's all standing, and it looks pretty full. Court. As the clearance is long from Henry, the keeper, bounces over Robson and out of play. And
all you can hear is the Lincoln City supporters.
Yep. Well, you always,
we always
clubs, do. When you have supporters who don't regularly go, it's just different, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Paul, halfway inside his half, back to Ioma. And Ioma advances unchecked. Chippenham happy to sit off at the moment.
Yeah. Trying to find some space, trying to find the gaps.
Some chip ball down the channel. It just holds slightly on Vernon, but he has it on the edge of the area. Now looks to run to the byline, looking to get the cross into the box, and it's dealt with by Chippenham, cleared downfield, but Lincoln win the ball back very quickly, and they're now just pressing a little higher up the pitch. They get it wide to Regan Poole. Poole back to Sanders, who's really pushed on Regan Poole. He's playing almost a winger as Sorensen chips it into the box, and it's headed clear. And it's just taken away from Burnham as he was lurking for the ball. And it's now with the blue shirts of Chippenham just trying to get a little bit of possession, a little toehold.
Yeah, it's a high press from Lincoln as well, Michael, making the keeper kick it, which hopefully people at the back will be able to deal with. Again.
Chippenham take their throw very quickly, looking to advance downfield, but it's won back comfortably by Rowan. And he tries to get through to Draper, but it's tidied up, and the captain Hamilton back to his keeper. And Lincoln not pressing the keeper at the moment, just on the edge of the D, and he chips it over the halfway line. And it's not a good ball, and it's going to go out of play, and just trying to a calm start, I'd say.
Yeah, it's a very calm start. It's a very assured start, very confident start. Like I say, Teddy Bishop just trying to get into fine pockets between the lines. Charles Vernon's got away a couple of times as well. So, like I say, just beginning to build a little bit of pressure. TJ just brought that's too long. Just Freddie Draper a couple of times come up against the centre halves for Chippenham. Just looks a little bit rusty. Just his body positions isn't quite right to be able to get the ball in. But I'm sure that'll get him develops. Again, Chippenham just taking a chance there. Again, a high press from Lincoln. Now they found a little pocket of space. Chippenham here, Michael, were able to maybe get over the halfway line, which they haven't done. I've had to go back. That's good pressure from Freddie Draper. Dropped into the midfield area just to help the midfield out, and now Chippenham have to go backwards. Good pressure from Freddie Draper.
Joe Burgess scoring for Stamford, 1-0 up in their match against Cambridge City. 0-0 here. BBC Radio Lincolnshire on DAB 94.9 FM and for the afternoon on Listen Live and your smart speaker. Chippenham just a nice couple of changes of passes. Ball into the edge of the Lincoln penalty area, over clears, but it's straight to a blue shirt. Lincoln now defending inside their penalty. An appeal for a handball, or so yeah, the handball is given, but it's given against Chippenham, and it'll be a Lincoln free kick. And it's the first Saturday since the clocks went back, so floodlights already in the first half in effect, and I'm sure very much dominating in the second. We had a real on in women's rugby of what a part-time team can do against a professional team. Canada coming close against England, and another sport giving a warning to Lincoln that you can have all the preparation and all that, but the Lincoln proved a few years ago against Burnley. Ioma just inside his own half, plays it forward to Poole, and then inside to Sanders. Chippenham not really pressing when Lincoln have possession, certainly not in this part of the pitch on the halfway line. So with Vernon, pretty much on that halfway line, plays it into Sorensen. And they can't quite get Bishop into the game at the moment as the ball skips out of play. And it's going to be a throw, which is taken really quickly by Robson. Into Sorensen. And then Sorensen to Aoma. Aoma to Bishop. Bishop cuts inside, back to Aoma. And there's a bit more room for Aoma to move into, but there's not a lot of movement in front of him at the moment, so he goes to Paul, who plays it back to Sanders. He has to just check back and receive the ball. There's certainly no complaints about the movement of the ball on the pitch. It's all pretty true from what I can see.
Yeah, it's pretty good, Michael. More movement.
It's a bit static up top.
Yeah,
at the moment,
it is, and it was on Tuesday night a little bit as well. It was only Jack Diamond. It used to come off the line a little bit and find a little bit of pocket of space, and that's where you want Teddy Bishop really to have that ball. I just want the midfield players just to move the ball a little bit quicker.
Chippenham have got a bit of an opportunity to get forward if they can, but it's very quickly won back by the Imps. But Chippenham now have it on the edge of their own penalty area.
It's very easy, Michael, when you're a midfield player, when you've got this amount of time deep, just to knock the ball around without actually trying to look forward for a pass. And the moment like Sorensen and Matt Saunders are comfortable in possession in and around the halfway line, but for me, they're not looking forward quick enough. Their first touch is always to try and then go backwards, so I want them to get the red up and play forward. Try and find Charles Vernon in off the line. Try and find Teddy Bishop in off the line. It's just a little bit too easy for them in possession. And you get lulled into keeping the ball without really hurting the opposition.
Well, no attempts on goal from either team. As O'Connor drills the ball over the top, a high one, headed away by the home side. Lincoln, they pick it up, and it's with Bishop. Then Vernon. Lots of Chippenham players in front of him. Vernon runs forward, gets it wide to Robson, and he gets it back into Sorensen. And then Sorensen plays a high ball in the box. Keeper comes out, fists it clear. It's loose on the edge of the box. Sanders trying to win the ball, does that. He's got a host of blue shirts around him. He gets it wide to Robson. Robson, a deflected ball. Is that going to go out for a corner? No, not quite. For a throw instead. Yeah,
Max Saunders does really well on the edge of the box just to get the regain on that to set up another phase of play for Lincoln, and a real battle with his centre half. I think it was Minton who came out to confront him and did really well.
Chips into the box, bit of space, and the chance for the shot for Vernon straight at the keeper, and at least we have an attempt on target.
Yeah, good run from Teddy Bishop across the line, went beyond, good ball in, clipped into him, and a good header back, and Charles Vernon just with a snapshot, just hit it into the ground unfortunately. But that was better. That was a forward pass into dangerous areas. Just need more and more of that as the game goes on.
12 minutes gone, 0-0 the scoreline. Long ball downfield by Chippenham. They're going to have possession down by the corner flag. I'm sure they're going to look to try and win a corner. Now he comes inside and he plays the ball across the area. City will look to clear. That's a push in the back from Regan Poole. Referee doesn't think so, but Chippenham hold on to it. Here the home fans thought it was a push.
I thought it was a push as well.
And Chippenham now attacking down the left, and it's a left that sort of curves up and you have to run slightly uphill, and he chips the ball in the box. He hits the crossbar. Slightly unsighted because he lowered his arms as it hit the crossbar and went behind. Still 0-0, but a little flurry from the home side.
Yeah, just a good long ball over the top into the channel, and Chippenham then were able to come up and support the front player, and yeah, it's a little bit of an awkward moment for Jordan Wright. I think he had it under control. Over the top and hit the crossbar, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. But yeah, just a little warning.
Breeze across the pitch in the direction that we are, sort of left to right as Lincoln attack. Aoma inside the Chippenham half has to track his run and play it to Sorensen. Sorensen into Sanders. Lincoln need to move the ball a bit quicker than they have. They stab that one forward, and Robson was trying to make the run. It's broken down for the Imps, and Chippenham have it, albeit they've only got one player against three, Lincoln, and it's a good challenge from Sean Rowan. The referee doesn't like it though. The free kick taken very quickly. I thought it was in the wrong position. It's put Chippenham into the penalty area. We're going to try and score. Ball into the box, and that's turned behind. And I don't complain. Free kick was from nowhere near where it was the actual foul happened.
Yeah, there was at least 5 yards in front of where the initial incident happened, but we were caught over that far side. Jamie Robson just switched off.
There was more purpose from Chippenham there than we've seen so far.
Yeah, exactly. Chippenham and Cordy O'Connor recovering his ground did really well. To be fair, it was a poor finish from the Chippenham player over that far side. I couldn't see who it was, but
0-0.
A little bit of a let-off for us there.
Yeah, great opportunity now for Chippenham with the corner. First of the afternoon. Right-footed from the attacking right. Ball is towards the penalty. Regan Paul, and then the attempted shot skews wide to the right, but it actually could work out for the home side as they looked at the ball into the box. Dives onto it and holds onto it. And after a quiet start, a couple of half chances for the home side.
Yeah, he's done well, the Chippenham player there. I think it was Ruth foot, and he almost caught Jordan Wright. I think Jordan Wright was thinking he was going to cross it. It actually turned into a shot, but a reasonably Lincoln goalkeeper.
It's Aoma who has possession. He's seen plenty of that so far this afternoon.
It's a threat there, though, Michael, isn't it?
And it is back with O'Connor.
Yeah, definite threat from Lincoln.
And now Bishop, halfway inside the Chippenham half, plays it to Sanders. Back inside to Bishop. Back to Aoma. Not sure we get possession on some of these FA Cup games. We always do in the league, but it'll be very high for Lincoln, but it's not with a purpose at the moment, and that's very much the mantra of Mark Kennedy. Lincoln knew they would have plenty of possession. It's about what they do with it in the moment. Not a lot.
Yeah, Tilly Bishop just got a little bit of room there. He's just come off his marker.
Regan Poole. Sanders on the right. Drills the ball across the penalty area. Vernon goes up for the header. Half cleared away. Picked up by Robson. Down by the byline. Plays it all the way back to Sean Rowan. Number 24 for the Imps. And he goes back to O'Connor. And O'Connor to Aoma. And with all the play in front of him, I think he's probably had more touches in this game than any other Lincoln player, any other player.
Yeah, just like I said,
an idea of where it is.
Yeah, I just want him to move the ball quicker in tight areas. It's just a little bit pedestrian, and it's allowing Chippenham just to get their defensive shape and just them being quite rigid in their shape. We're not moving them around enough at the moment. It's being able to pick a pass quickly. So once Teddy Bishop makes a move to come off his marker to find space, you've got to pass the ball to him as quickly as you can. Don't have that extra touch, because then that gives Chippenham players a chance to look over their shoulders and just stop that pass going into him. So they've just got to be a little bit quicker with their passing into dangerous areas.
Free kick for the Imps. It's going to be on the attacking left, about halfway inside the Chippenham half, and they've taken it quickly. And now they're running at the byline. Oh, it's not very good. Burnham, well, it's going to stay in play, actually. The cross is that bad. And eventually it stays in place still with Aoma. No, it doesn't. It goes out of play. It's going to be a Chippenham throw. As free kicks go, that will not be in the top 100 I've ever seen.
No, that's poor from Charles Verdon. They played it short. A chance to take him on one-on-one, the defender, and then just a lack of quality on the cross. And that's literally all I can say about that.
Well, I think from a Chippenham point of view, they'll be happy with things so far. It's headed away by Bishop. Played into the Lincoln half. That should be an easy one for Jordan Wright to come to the edge of his area, gather the ball in. He bowls it out. Now can Robson inject some pace for Lincoln down the left-hand side? He plays a first-time ball looking for Vernon to chase after it. Draper hasn't really... So far he chases after it, and his hard work nearly coughs up the possession for Lincoln, but the home side have done well to hold on to it. They play it all the way back to Will Henry. Takes the touch, and he clears right-footed to the halfway line. It's a good header from the Chippenham player, but Lincoln win it back until they put it out of play. Straight into the touch of Mark Kennedy, the Imps head coach.
Yeah, just don't want it to get where possession changes hands quickly. We're in kind of control of this game.
On clearance from Jordan Wright, headed back at Lincoln. Rowan chests it down, appeals to handball, it wasn't, and then he clears. But straight to a Chippenham player, and they're just getting a little bit more of the ball, a little bit more of the game. That's good straight though from O'Connor, and Lincoln win it back, and it's now at the feet of Bishop. Tries to drive through midfield. He looks up, he's got options. He plays it wide to Poole, who's playing as a wing back this afternoon. The captain cuts inside, he gets an exchange of passes with Bishop. Regan Poole to the byline, looks to get the cross into the area, cleared away by the blue shirts of the home team. Although Lincoln will press, and actually it's smashed downfield by the Chippenham captain, but Aoma wins a header, breaks for Sanders. It's a little better from Lincoln, a bit more pace to it at the moment. It's now with Poole.
Oh, no movement in front of him at all.
They're all statues, aren't they?
Oh, watching Regan Paul, he had a look inside and nobody was making a run or making any kind of movement.
That's a corner which Robson has won, and he's won a throw down by the corner flag, and he plays it to Vernon. Better ball from Vernon into the area, and Bishop couldn't quite bring it under control, and it's a shot from Sorensen, and it's going to be cleared away by the home side, and then that looked like a foul. O'Connor went through the back of the Chippenham player, and it's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, just a little bit of a ring rustiness from Teddy Bishop there. His first touch was into the ground, which made it pop up, and then he couldn't quite get it under control. I think if Teddy had been playing half a dozen games, that would have been under his feet straight away, and chance would have shot off. But unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. But again, just going back to that moment where Regan Paul just came inside with a touch, and there was absolutely no movement. All he do was go 30 yards backwards.
Long ball downfield from Chippenham. They're halfway in the header, but Lincoln have tidied it up. And they've kicked the ball into a Chippenham player. It's going to be an Imps throw. But the home dugout. There's so many in both teams' dugouts these days that they're not big enough anymore, and there's a row of plastic seats to the side of both, and then between them is a little gantry where the TV crew are. You'll be able to see that, the footage from that on the BBC website and on Match of the Day as well, hopefully right at the end of the programme. That's the aim.
Yeah.
So Lincoln throw, but I would have thought Mark Kennedy content with the possession, but frustrated at the intentions of the team and the dynamism of the team at the moment as Vernon gives away possession. It skips through midfield, the ball. But the days of offside for the Imps, for a free kick for the Imps. You know, you look at that, we were talking about the sad news about Ronnie Radford this week. If you look at that pitch, I mean, Hereford pitch, I don't want to be horrible, but it has been a challenge at many a time. But
yes,
I mean, these pitches are different now, even at this sort of level.
Honestly, when I played at this level on the end of my career, some of the pitches were atrocious.
Well, they did your knees, didn't they?
Oh, they were absolutely atrocious. But you know, the pitch quality in terms of the playing services has improved so much over the years, and quite rightly as well. I mean, I used to play at Wycombe Wanderers, and that used to have literally rabbit holes in it. It was all absolutely awful. It's really dangerous, to be honest.
BBC Radio Lincolnshire. Myself, Michael Horton, and Mark Hone, your commentary team. Remember, Mark, he's on his travels again. He's going to stay down here. No, he's not. If the wife's listening, he isn't staying down here, but he's off Bristol City on Tuesday with Rob for commentary in the League Cup. City coming forward, though, and attacking, and trying to get some dynamism into this. It's with Vernon, and he plays a decent ball into the air. It comes to Draper. Draper falls over, and it spills to a Chippenham player, but that's from the Imps. It was asking at least a question.
Yeah, Teddy Bishop just picked the ball up and ran through the midfielder Chippenham to open up the angle for Vernon with a cross, and he didn't even look. He just put the ball into an area, and Freddie Draper's a little bit unlucky not to get that under control.
Ball played forward by Rowan, intercepted by Chippenham. Possession in their own half. At the moment, the one thing we haven't seen from the home side is that they've got any substantial pace to worry Lincoln.
No, the number 12, Parsons, is a little bit quick. We've seen him go into the channels, and Porty O'Connor just struggles a little bit with him, but as long as Porty O'Connor gets concentration and doesn't get involved in...
Bishop looking for a give and go with Draper, who goes over. He's just being manhandled at the moment.
Yeah, he's just got to be a little bit stronger, Freddie. Use his body a little bit better. She's showing a little bit of inexperience at the moment.
Sanders drives the early ball forward, headed away by a defender, but it breaks for Lincoln, and because they moved it a bit quicker, they've got further down the pitch, and it's Sorensen, and now with Sanders on the edge of the centre circle. He's got a bit of space, plenty of space to move into, drives it into Draper, sorts his feet out, gets a shot away, takes the deflection for a corner, and that's all come because they moved the ball quicker.
Yeah, exactly. They pushed it from one side to the other. Max Saunders had 20 yards to run into it quickly, and then fed Freddie Draper really quickly. Chippenham not able to cope with that. And Freddie Draper's unlucky there. I think it was a great block from Minturn again, that managed to turn that away for a corner. But no, that was much better from the midfield areas for Lincoln.
Well, it is a corner for the Imps. Is this the chance of the first goal in the game? Ball into the box, keeper comfortably gathers it in. It was a little awkward.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't a bad delivery, there was just no players near it.
No, I think they all went to the near post.
And he just slightly overhit it.
Yeah, I think Charles Ronnie just over.
The wind, just looking at the wind, it's hard for us to judge because it's sort of blowing at us, but
Yeah.
there is a bit of a wind across the pitch, isn't there?
Yeah, the rain starts to come down.
Robson heads it into the Chippenham half. And the Blue Shirts coming forward. Lincoln, these are two teams, when you look at the stats, they're not free scoring at the moment, that's for sure.
No. Like I said, they've only scored.
Bishop asking the question. Quarters in the heels, the imp strike, and I think also in truth Bishop's pass just slightly overhit, but better. Just starting to get Bishop into places where he can hurt a team.
Yeah, they're just starting to move the ball a little bit quicker. You know, they're quieting the crowd now, and now they're going to work into Chippenham. You know, just in these areas here, Max Saunders, 3 or 4 touches, just move the ball 1 or 2 touches, just keep the ball bouncing off each other and move it quickly. Like Teddy Bishop's done into Lass Sorensen, now move the ball quickly again. Sorensen. There you go. So just shifting Chippenham from side to side now.
Sanders to the edge of the area. Just nearly lose possession. Gets it to Robson. A deflecting cross wins another corner.
Yeah, that's better. That's better. Yeah, just moving the ball quickly from side to side, stretching Chippenham, and gaps will open up. And as long as you then find the right pass for a runner, and the Chippenham player switches off, they'll get in. That was much better from us. Just in that phase of play, you can the pace. Once we quicken your passing up, and the athleticism kicks in from us, we're going to cause this team problems. Just got to keep doing it.
Corner into the box, and it's gone right across the penalty area and skips out of play. Remains at 0-0 here. I'll update you on some scorelines elsewhere. Stamford 1-1. Taylor Park scoring for Cambridge in that goal. Grantham leading at Concert by a 1-0 as well. It is Chippenham in possession. Lincoln just pressing, forcing them back to their own penalty. This is better. Right to the keeper, who's under a bit of pressure from Freddie Draper, and just manages to scoop it out of the penalty area and finds a teammate, and then turning it into a little bit of a move. Lincoln, though, with plenty of players back, and Rowan wins it and advances into the Chippenham half. He vaults over a little bit of a wild challenge, out of keeping with the game so far, and it's with Bishop, who is starting to influence the game. Gets it forward to the captain, Poole, who's playing as a wing-back, and he tries to play into Draper, who's into the area. Draper looks for the finish, hits the Chippenham defender, and that was much better. I think Draper slightly caught out there, Marky. He wasn't expecting the ball to go get to him.
Actually, took a deflection and nutmeg. But his centre-half colleague, Harrison Minton, who's having a really good game. Another really good block from Freddie Draper. I think Freddie just caught on his heels with the initial deflection. He didn't think it was going to come through to him, and that just gave him a half a yard short, really, of trying to get the shot away. But no, that was, again, much better. Move the ball quickly.
So towards the back post, up goes Aoma, and Regan Poole goes over, nothing in that. Falls for Bishop, first time shot, takes a deflection off O'Connor and out for a goal kick. But better from Lincoln City after a steady start.
Yeah, much better. Like I say, Mark Kennedy, we would have pleased with the start, but I think he'd be more pleased now. They're moving the ball quicker. They're shifting Chippenham's defensive shape. And there's just gaps beginning to open up now. Like I say, Max Sanders and Lass Sorensen have got to move the ball quickly. It's all right having plenty of time on the ball, but if you have 3 or 4 touches, it just allows Chippenham to get their defensive shape and shut avenues down in between the lines, and Lincoln want to get Teddy Bishop out of the line so they can hurt this defensive shape. Freddie Draper just trying to turn it into taking it down the line, but Minton has got his number at the moment, the centre half for Chippenham. He's having an outstanding first half an hour.
Lincoln City who get it to Sorensen. His passes was with the wrong boot, and he just scooped it a little bit. And it is with Chippenham inside their own half. They've got 2 players downfield, but it's picked off by Sanders. And Lincoln City now advancing. Nothing you'd suspect in the second half, the fitness of Lincoln, which I thought, even though they lost the game, was superior last week at Port Vale. Didn't really, poor touch from O'Connor. I haven't seen that too much this season, but he recovers, gets it to Aoma, who's under pressure. It just about stays in play. Regan Poole gets back there very sharply.
Yeah, good play from them. They were getting closed down, no panic. Just able to, Regan Poole just coming on to TJ's pass. was here and was able just to turn it back, and we keep possession. So again, a little threat coming from Chippenham. I don't want to.
At the moment,
commentator's curse, Michael, but little threat coming. They can't get out of their own half at the moment.
But you also look at their forwards. They're not going to. You just look at the size of their forwards. They're not going to smash the ball downfield.
No, exactly.
It's not that sort of football.
No, it's a little bit. Well, they are trying to play and catch Lincoln on the break, but the breakdown's much better, and they do win the ball high up.
Excellent move from Robson. Has he caught the defender out? He gets a touch to it. Up goes Drape to try and win it. It breaks on the edge of the area, takes a deflection, nearly comes through to Bishop, but Lincoln once again moving the ball quickly. Now this is a very good ball over the top for Chippenham. Lincoln 3 players back, chasing after this one, trying to block out the attempt on goal, but Chippenham have done well to hold on to it. Resources and players are getting forward. This is some run. He goes over in the area. The shot is wide. It's going to be a corner. But that was a terrific run, a really determined run from the Chippenham player to try and get into the penalty area. And Parsons really asked some questions there of the imps, and credit him.
Yeah, Sean Rowan did really well initially. Kind of shoved him inside, and then he got too tight to Parsons, who was able then just to twist and turn and get the wrong side of him. And then once he goes into the penalty area, the Lincoln players are really struggling to try and get anywhere near him because they're scared of giving the penalty away. But eventually they crowd him out. But good play from Parsons.
Ball into the penalty area. It goes right across the area and then cleared away downfield by Bishop. And nobody else is near it. It's going to roll out of play, is it? Just about had the legs to roll out of play. It's going to be a throw for Chippenham inside their own half. But
and then,
it's got better this game.
Yeah, it's just beginning to come into life. Like I say, Chippenham just trying to counter-attack using the pace of Parsons in behind. And like I say, Sean Rowan did initially really well, but then got too tight to Parsons, which then allowed Parsons to get the wrong side of him and then face up into the Lincoln's penalty area, which is always dangerous. So just again, warning signs about getting your distances right when you're playing against an opposition that may be slightly quicker than you.
Sorensen, it's a bit of a short ball. Lincoln was sold short here. But Sorensen gets across the number 21, gets in the way and blocks it out. But after feeding on the crumbs, really, frankly, in the first part of this game, Chippenham getting more. They've probably had the better chances, haven't they?
I would suggest they probably have.
Maybe apart from the Draper one.
Yeah, I think they have. Sloppiness from Lincoln there. Just a bit careless on the ball. And this is going to be a long throw. I've watched the right back. He can throw a long throw, so this will be going right into Lincoln's box.
And it's half cleared away, and Lincoln have got a chance to break here. Vernon is around him, a third one. He's been pulled back, but he's kept up his pace, and he's brought down. That's going to be a yellow card. That was a bit cynical, really, from the Chippenham man, and I can't see it being anything other than
absolute, definite yellow card.
That's Tom Mahue. It was a great run from Vernon. He got Lincoln a long way downfield, and unfortunately for the Imps, he had 2 runners inside. It would probably have been a hard ball to do, but they were
getting up to him.
Questions, weren't they?
Yeah, they were getting up there with him. But yeah, very cynical, and quite rightly a yellow card. A professional foul in midfield.
You'd have never done that, would you, Mark?
No, absolutely. Nobody ever ran away from me, Michael. All right, Georgie Kincladze from Man City. I remember him running away from me once.
Off you go.
Yeah.
Have some fun.
Yeah.
What a player he was. Anyway,
Yeah,
it's a Lincoln City ball into the edge of the... That was a bit of a name drop.
Yeah,
into the edge of the penalty area, the Chippenham one. Draper doesn't win it, but Sorensen comes away with it for Lincoln. And then Sanders. Telegraph, but Bishop comes across and wins a throw off the Chippenham man. And it's been interesting watching Bishop in 2 ways, really, I think. One being pitch side, we get a much closer view than we used to back at the stand and seeing how he's...
Yeah.
But also you can just feel him working himself back into playing football again after an injury now, can't you? You can feel it in the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he looks a little bit leggy, but his movement's still there. His intelligence is still there. It's just his leg strength and his core strength. It's the same with Freddie Draper. He just looks a little bit leggy, a little bit heavy at his foot, and that's just because he has not played enough games.
That's a ping ball downfield, not a great one, straight out of play. And Lincoln City, remember, not without Danny Mondroyo. He's not fit. Jack Diamond, Sunderland won't make him available for the FA. Also, we're saying Carl Rushworth not involved today. Now, if you weren't listening earlier on the programme, the club following the procedures, head injury procedures, concussion procedures. However, he hasn't got taken the decision to do that, and I think that's a sensible thing, isn't it, for the club?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't quite see what happened in the game. I just remember him picking
Very
up,
innocuous, wasn't it?
Yeah, picking up a corner basically straight at him, and then he held his head as he was releasing the ball. So, like I say, I'm not sure what's gone on in the game for that to happen, but no, you can't take any chances nowadays, which is quite right as well.
Rowan clears long.
Draper just can't get his body position right against the centre halves at the moment. He's not able to get the ball in and get Lincoln up the pitch.
Chippenham win the ball back, but Lincoln get it back very quickly, and Robson a chance to drive downfield, but then he's dispossessed at the cost of a throw. A good, halfway inside the Chippenham half.
Chippenham have done well, Michael. I have to say,
so, yep.
You know, they've really competed. They've sat in, they've really competed. They made it difficult. You know, the energy levels are good from them. You know, they're not giving Lincoln a free ride in this game by any stretch of the imagination. And they have had a threat as well. Parsons is quicker than Pordy O'Connor. So there is a threat there.
Sanders. Bishop plays the ball straight to the Chippenham captain. And he brings the ball away. Lincoln, though, pressing it, and Bishop leading the press. It's one back, but Jamie Robson, difficult first touch, but he does well in the challenge, gets hold of it. He's got Sorensen behind him, and the Dane picks up possession, plays it inside to Sanders. Sanders to O'Connor, to Aoma. And Lincoln playing football inside the Chippenham half, on the edge of the penalty area. Lincoln, they're trying to move it a bit quicker. Poole playing on the right-hand side of the Lincoln back five, but really you'd have to say that Robson and Poole are playing more as auxiliary midfielders, almost forwards in terms of their positioning. Bishop.
Yeah, just a lack of movement again up in front of him. You know, if you don't get the ball once because you made a run, you've got to move again, and you've got to do it quickly. You can't just stand still because the gaps will close.
Bishop chips it forward down the channel, it's cleared away, and I think out of the stadium.
I just watched Max Sanders there where Regan Paul had the ball, and he came inside, and Max made a run, but then the Chippenham player was able to shield that and say, well, you can't get the ball in there, but make another run quickly, move again. If you stand still, once the ball's not able to get to you, you're not going to be able to get the ball. So you've got to keep moving as a midfield player.
Lincoln City with Sanders. Aoma. Back to Sanders. And he pushes forward through the centre circle. Still going. Plays it into feet, and Burnham, it just gets away from him. He tried the little turn, and now Chippenham with a chance to break, but it's a heavy touch, and Burnham should bring this away, but no, tidied up in midfield by the blue shirts of Chippenham. And Lincoln will win this back with Bishop, and then Regan Poole all the way back.
Do you know what? That's really good from Chippenham. Do you know what? They've closed players down there for us, you know, and they've able to. Physicality, Chippenham are holding their own in this game.
37 minutes gone. Chip downfield into Draper, looks to flick to the run of Bishop. It was a terrific run from Bishop, just got away from him. Sorensen picks it up, now Sanders on the edge of the box, playing it into Vernon. Vernon wide to the left-hand side to Robson on the corner of the penalty area. Back inside to Sanders. Sanders, little pirouette, and he plays it back out to the left-hand side to Robson. Just slows down again for Lincoln City. Now the ball's chipped into the penalty area, headed away by a blue shirt, but the red shirts of Lincoln have it again with Robson right on the edge of the pitch on the left-hand side, being forced backwards at the cost of a throw for the Imps.
Yeah, really unlucky Teddy Bishop there. Freddie Draper does really well just to guide a little header, a clip ball from TJ Aoma, edge of the penalty area, and Freddie Draper does really well just to half, but Teddy just slightly off balance.
Well, it comes into Vernon. Well, for a second I wondered if he was fouled, but the referee didn't think so. It's been a pretty clean game apart from that late challenge for the yellow card a short while ago.
Yeah, no, there's nothing really in the game, is there, in terms of... It's competitive, but without being over-aggressive, shall I say. But no, just going back to that, Teddy Bishop, great run, and it just hit his hip, which meant it popped away from him, and the chance was gone. But, like I say, we're comfortable, but we're not carving out chances, are we? And there, TJ Aoma again, he has 3, 4, 5 touches, and then he has to go backwards.
City with possession. Sorensen can't get it through to Vernon. And there are a few frustrated players in red and white stripes at the moment as the ball. It's a terrific run from deep for the home side down the left-hand side, chasing after it, and they know it's going to slightly check, and taking on Regan Poole, ball in the box, takes a deflection. There's a little bit of panic there, but calmness from Robson. One of the Lincoln players slipped slightly, was panicking there was somebody behind him, but Robson was calm and headed it back to Jordan Wright. But that was a good example for me. They know how the pitch is going to work. They know they can play it because it's uphill on that corner. Yep. It'll check slightly and hold for them.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and Regan Poole just caught forward a little bit far forward there, and then when you cough possession up, you're prone to being out of position by 10 yards defensively, and that's what's happened a few times. And over the other side, Jamie Robson as well.
0-0 on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. Mark Home, myself, Michael Horton, your commentary team. Remember, Tuesday night, Rob Makepeace and Mark in the other cup competition, the Carabao. Some people think it hasn't got too many years left, but a chance for, I think, a few Lincoln fans to probably tick off playing at Bristol City. They probably haven't done that. That was a real dwelling on possession from Sorensen. He wanted to get the deck chair out and have an ice cream, and they weren't allowing him, Chippenham, and it's chipped quite literally downfield and cleared away. But he wanted too much time.
That's exactly the prime example I've been talking about. Midfield players, you get lulled into a sense of, well, I've got plenty of time, I'll have a touch, I'll have another touch, how good do I look? No, you need to move the ball quickly. You need to push the opposition around. Don't sit there and look, I'm so comfortable, what a good player I am. That's not good enough. Not good enough. At League One, you need to move the ball quickly.
40 minutes gone.
I'm getting frustrated a little bit, as you can tell.
I think we can tell.
Yeah. It's too easy to do that, Michael. It's too easy to be a League One player at these kind of games with loads of time, just having a touch, having another touch, getting your head up, look at me, I'm great. No, come on. There's a purpose as to why you're playing. Yeah, exactly.
Ball looks like it's going to go out of play into the Chippenham bench. And I'm sure they'll be very happy to get to half-time with the score like this.
Well, if you're a Chippenham manager and Chippenham players, you're coming up against a League One side. You've not really been hurt. There's glimpses, but it's not really. It's not like I said on Tuesday night. That's a great ball, by the way. They played between the lines there, Chippenham.
Chippenham now attacking down the left, just in front of us, taking on Regan Poole. Poole forcing the player inside, but the blue shirts hold on to it. I'm just trying to work our way through. Regan Poole bites in with a challenge, pushes over the Chippenham player. It's gone out for a throw.
Yeah, nice and aggressive from Regan Poole there. Really tight. Let him know that you're there. And a really good tackle.
Plenty of possession, not enough purpose for Lincoln so far this afternoon. Chippenham have grown into this game. And the centre half has gone on a run, and he's continuing his run unchecked, and the ball's in the box. A chance for Chippenham. That's a great save from Jordan Wright. That could have been the first goal, and it came from a terrific run from the centre half mid-turn. He turned the Lincoln defence and chipped it through, and the shot was on target. I think that was going to be a goal, but for Jordan Wright, 0-0.
Yeah, well, there you go. You've got a player that comes forward with purpose.
Yep.
He wanted to go between the lines and go, come on then, tackle me. Nobody tackled him. Nobody got near him. He played a great little ball into Joe Hanks. And his first touch was almost behind him, but he made a great attempt with the shot to bend it round Jordan Wright, and that's a great side from the goalkeeper for us.
I think if you're being dispassionate and an outside observer, and you're looking at all the games at the moment, you say, well, this is an opportunity for an upset, because Lincoln are not asking enough questions of the home side, and the home side are starting to ask questions of Lincoln as Robson clears it away.
Well, who's been the busier goalkeeper?
Yeah. There's a simple answer to that, isn't there? It's the gentleman over to our right, our left, sorry, in orange.
Yep. Lincoln's goalkeeper, Jordan Wright's been the busier.
And it proves the lie of teams or stats people are going about possession, because Lincoln have had 65 probably, but it's been without purpose.
At least that. But
long throw for Chippenham into the Imps penalty area. It's flicked on again. This is the chance for the home side. Back heel into the net. What a goal for the home side! Remarkable. Lindsay coming and Parsons.
Wow, what a goal that is! A long throw into the penalty area. Didn't deal with the first ball, Michael. You have to deal with it. Didn't deal with it. And Hanks chests it. And the only way you could get it was to back heel it in. And back heeled it in brilliantly past Jordan Wright. And I have to say,
static defender.
On the balance of playing on chances, I wouldn't say that Chippenham have deserved that, but they've had a threat, unlike Lincoln have had. Cup upset is on. Now Lincoln have now got to do something they haven't done in the last 7 games, to score more than 1 goal.
They certainly have.
And we were saying, weren't we, last night when we were having a beer, if Chippenham get the first goal, this could be a long afternoon.
Also worth pointing out, I think it's the first time we've scored in the first half at home this season.
Yeah, it's a great goal. It's a great finish. He had nowhere else to go. He couldn't twist or turn. So all he did is let it bounce up on him and just backheeled it. Great finish from Hanks.
And Parsons back in as well, Mark. It was a difficult one because the ball was actually, it wasn't on the turf, it was probably 6-7 inches up.
It was almost like a little side volley with his back heel, and he just caught it beautifully. And from 6 yards out, it really fizzed into the bottom corner. Jordan Wright, absolutely no chance whatsoever. So here we go then. This is game on.
Absolutely. The upset is on the cards. Lincoln going to pay. There's still a whole half to go, we should point out, but you can't say that the home side don't deserve their lead. Got a minute of stoppage time about to be added. And Mark Kennedy with an important team talk to make.
You know, there's a
ball
now
played down the channel. Freddie Draper chases after it, and it comes off Draper, I think. It does indeed for a throw right down by the corner flag.
Now the crowd are up now. The hum's there, you know, that ding you get when a crowd is, you know, up and talking and chatting, and so yeah. Lincoln have got to up the game in the second half. They've got to be more purposeful with the ball.
I don't think their keeper's had a proper save to make.
He's had that one snapshot from Chelsea, which I could have saved, if I'm brutally honest.
Headed on by Sorensen, headed away. Sanders, Poole brings it down. Poole taking on the Chippenham man, who looks to see it back. And we look to be heading towards half-time, with Lincoln City a goal to 0 down. And certainly with lots of questions to find answers to. And Lincoln's usual defensive resilience was undone. It was done because Chippenham moved the ball quickly. And they asked questions of Lincoln.
Well, they did leading up to the goal, yeah, the corner. From the corner, it was...
And Lincoln City, are they going to get a free kick? No. They're competing for the edge of the Chippenham area. They look a little stung. Well, they might be, because that noise around us is the appreciation of the home fans. And it's the home fans who are very happy with Lincoln City being a goal to 0 down against Chippenham. There is no noise from the Imps fans away to our left, understandably.
Yeah, again, I come back, certainly Tuesday night, they don't move the ball quick enough for me in midfield areas. They're a little bit static, and that stops the... When you want Teddy Bishop to get on the ball, the more times you don't move the ball and pass it to him when he makes a run, the less chance Teddy Bishop's going to make them runs. And that's very proven. Chippenham have had the better chances. When they play forward, Michael, they play with purpose. They play with an idea, right, we're going to go in behind it, we're going to get up, we're going to try and support the attacking play. They nearly scored, before the corner, and what a great little move from the centre half. Munton, who's had a fantastic game at the back for Chippenham. He ran through the lines, set up Hanks, and it was only a great save from Jordan Wright. And from that corner, they scored. It got cleared, the long throw in, didn't deal with the first one and didn't deal with the second one, and they find themselves a goal down. Huge team talk for Mark Kennedy at half-time.
And he's taking his time about it, isn't he? He's just walking off at the moment, having a chat with his coaching staff. And I saw the notebook out where they're thinking about changes already, but understandably they won't be happy, because he's talked to us at the start of the season about playing with possession with a purpose. That has not been the case today. Possession, no purpose.
You can have possession, but you have to do something with it. You can't just keep going backwards and sideways, because at the moment Chippenham are very comfortable in their defensive shape. The only time they've been uncomfortable is when we've moved the ball quickly and we've spread them from side to side quickly. You know, the diagonals aren't really working, but you've got to get Teddy Bishop and Charles Vernon coming in off the line, planning little pockets of space on the half turn. Freddie Draper's got to do a little bit. I know he's coming back from injury and it's going to take him a while, but he's got to do better with his body to protect the ball, because every time the ball's come up to him, the centre halves have been able to knock him off the ball, so we can't then go and play off Freddie Draper. So he's got to do a little bit better in the second half. Defensively, we look okay. Poor goal, because we didn't deal with the first ball or the second ball. But for me, it's in midfield areas. We need to move the ball quickly. We haven't done it quick enough. We haven't played through the lines quick enough, and we haven't moved the ball with purpose. It's a massive second 45 minutes coming up here.
Right, that's the thoughts of Mark Holy, who's going to go off and gnash his teeth for 15 minutes, and he'll be back with me and all of you in the second half. But I have to say, if one team deserves to be in front, it's a team in blue. If you're being completely dispassionate, of course we want Lincoln City to be in front. And lots of the ball. but not much to go with it. 1-0 down at the break. Right, let's get some news of our other local games. I can tell you Boston United leading at the break by 1-0. What about Stamford? Dave Remnant is watching them.
Well, Stamford lead here, Michael, and got off to a great start. A lovely move down their left, finished at the back post by Joe Burgess, just 5 minutes on the clock. The equaliser came shortly after. City captain Taylor Park heading over the advancing home keeper before being clattered unceremoniously. The perseverance of Ollie Brownhill was rewarded on half an hour, taking advantage of a poor back pass to make the half-time score here. Stamford 2, Cambridge City 1.
Thank you, Dave. What about Grantham? I think also good news of them, Graham.
1 goal to the good at half-time, Michael. The Gingerbreads with a great header from Ashton Hall on 13 minutes from the Gingerbreads' first corner of the game. He rose at the far post and easy as you like, headed past Ross Coombe. But it's not been all the Gingerbreads' way at all, as Concert have played some good football, but has struggled to break down a Grantham Town back line. They were fortunate to keep 11 men on the pitch after 20 minutes when Kieran Aspin was only shown a yellow card, despite seemingly having two offences, including one push in the face. The referee deciding that just the first foul would be punished. Concert played some good football, but as I say, couldn't get through the Grantham back line. Although a great chance from Declan Bissett just a few minutes after Aspin's yellow card flew just wide of the post. And on half-time, Grantham's dogged defending came to the fore when both Cyril Giroud and Declan Bissett had shots, but they were both blocked by a resolute Grantham back line. Half-time, it's Concert 0, Grantham Town 1.
Right, that's it then for our local games. Take you through the rest of the half-times. Here's Beth.
Hope.
That is a wonderful, wonderful goal.
And glory.
Still chance of Boston. Yes!
Hope and glory.
BBC Radio Lincolnshire.
Yes, plenty of FA Cup action to talk about now. We'll start with those games that have already finished, where Forest Green beat South Shields 2-0 and Harrogate won 1-0 away at Bradford City. Just about to finish is Bolton versus Barnsley. It's currently 2-1 to Barnsley there. AFC Fylde 0, Gillingham 1. Barnet are drawing 0-0 with Chelmsford. It is Barrow 0, Mansfield 1. Borehamwood are beating Eastleigh 2-1. Goalless between Bristol Rovers and Rochdale. Burton Albion are leading 1-0. They are hosting Needham Market. Buxton are winning 1-0, hosting Merthyr Town. Carlisle 1, Tranmere 0 at half-time. Charlton are beating Colville 2-0. A goal from former imp Jack Payne there. Cheltenham 0, Alvechurch 1. Could be a cup set coming there. Chesterfield are beating Northampton 1-0. As we've been hearing, Chippenham are leading Lincoln City 1-0 as well. It is Crawley 1, Accrington 3. Goalless between Crewe and Leyton Orient. Doncaster Rovers are goalless at Kings Lynn. Ebbsfleet versus FC Halifax, it's 1-1. Fleetwood 2, Oxford City 0. Gateshead 0, Stevenage 2. Grimsby are beating Plymouth 4-1. And Maidenhead versus Dagenham and Redbridge is 0-0. MK Dons 2, Taunton 0. Newport 1, Colchester 0. It's goalless between Peterborough and Salford. Port Vale 1, Exeter 1. Shrewsbury are beating York City 2-1. And Solihull Moors 0, Hartlepool 1. Stockport are beating Swindon 3-0. It is goalless between Sutton and Farnborough. AFC Wimbledon are winning 1-0 away at Weymouth. And it is Wickham 0, Walsall 1. A quick look to the Premier League, where at half-time it is Leeds 1, Bournemouth 2. Man City are drawing 1-1 with Fulham. There was a red card for Cancelo in that game, and Fulham's goal came from a penalty. Nottingham Forest versus Brentford is also 1-1, and Wolves versus Brighton is currently a 2-2 draw. There's been a red card in that game too. And to the Championship, where Sheffield United beat Burnley 5-2 in the early kickoff. It's currently Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 0. Goalless between Blackpool and Luton. Middlesbrough 0, Bristol City 1. Millwall and Hull, it is goalless there. There's been a red card in that game too. QPR are drawing 0-0 with West Brom. Norwich are winning 1-0 away at Rotherham. Stoke 0, Birmingham 1. Goalless between Sunderland and Cardiff. Swansea 1, Wigan 2, and finally it is goalless between Watford and Coventry.
The sound of Lincolnshire.
Oh, slow cooker, time of year, soup, slow cookers, jumpers.
My shoes are absolutely full of mud at this point. You and I are related. Every blue-eyed person descended from one single person.
And all the music you love.
I can do a Sunday lunch in an air fryer. Yeah.
What, like a whole chicken?
Yeah.
How do you squeeze a chicken in an air fryer?
I don't have blue eyes.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Green.
BBC Radio Lincolnshire.
Now, we've got a show coming up this evening, which we absolutely love here at BBC Radio Lincolnshire. It's BBC Introducing in Lincolnshire with George Smith. And this is every Saturday evening, 8 p.m, and George plays us some music from up-and-coming artists around the county. This evening, he's got Mabel Thorpe, a singer-songwriter, No Cash Refunds in session. That session I saw, it looked amazing. He is great live. Boston's Kings and Bears are talking about their latest single and upcoming gig. And George is chatting to Jake Bugg about a decade of success that all started with BBC Introducing. And he's getting tips for rising musicians. Before that, though, sticking with Jake Bugg, the beat with Dean Jackson is straight after us here at Hope and Glory, where you can win a signed commemorative box set of Jake Bugg's #1 album. So lots of Jake Bugg coming this evening. Back to George's show then, and every show he leaves us a little sneak peek of BBC Introducing in Lincolnshire. So today he has left for you a song by Mosquito called Sweet Fruit.
BBC Music Introducing in Lincolnshire.
BBC Radio Lincolnshire.
Hi, I'm Jake from Mosquito. We're a punk band from Boston, influenced by the likes of Queens of the Stone Age, The Streets and the Arctic Monkeys. In the next year we've got some massive things going on, so keep your eyes and ears to the ground. This next song's a new one from us called Sweet Fruit. We are Mosquito, and this is BBC Radio Lincolnshire.
I don't know how and I don't know when you came into my life and got your claws dug in. They tell me I'm crazy and tell me I am dumb, but I don't really care. I've got a gagging for it. The game she has been playing are sucking me in. She's a smoking hops dynamite. They say a fella is a monster, but I'm up for a fight. Ready player, I can't wait for it. Got me running to hell and back for it. Such a sweet fruit, I'll do anything you want. What a waste, what a waste it is.
Radio Lincolnshire.
The music that gets you moving. And the music to help you unwind.
So wake me up when it's all over.
The music you'll never forget.
Moving on up, you're moving on out.
And the music you'll want to remember. All the music you love.
BBC Radio Lincolnshire.
Second half commentary underway very shortly. I will pass you back over to Mike Horton and Mark Hone away at Chippenham.
Beth, thank you very much. Welcome back to Chippenham. An inquest of sorts going on amongst the media that are following Lincoln City and chatting with a few people around. And I think it would be fair to say that a lot of unhappy people following the Imps and a lot of very happy people following Chippenham would be the upsum of things at the moment, I think.
Yes, like I said, in a half time, Mark Kennedy's got a lot to do with his players. They need to play with a little bit more purpose going forward. It's all well and good having. You need to hurt teams, and we haven't moved the ball quick enough to be able to shift Chippenham's defensive shape about enough.
I think Alicia Huey's coming on, isn't he?
Looks like it.
I'm not sure who's gone off. Regan Paul's there. Back four, Mark.
Yeah, I think they have.
They've taken off Sean Rowan.
It's Oakley Booth that's
come on.
Oakley
Booth coming on, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Oakley Booth. 4-3-3. Well, they needed to do something. And the good thing about Oakley Booth is he's good with the ball. He moves well with the ball.
Yeah, he will run forward. He will, try and move that midfield of Chippenham about.
There you go, confirmed by the announcer. So Oakley Booth coming on. I mean, you look at the bench and it's short, and the point I was making to you as well is that I would like to get some clarification on Garrick, whether he's not able to play coming from a parent club, but suddenly you're a little hamstrung when you got that, haven't you, when you lost a couple of first regular I know Garrick's not played a lot lately, but regular first teamers. Long ball downfield, Lincoln trying to get some urgency into the game, and up goes Sorensen. It comes wide and it's cleared away, picked up by Regan Paul. Lincoln trying to play the football inside the Chippenham half, but Chippenham win it back and they're charging over the halfway line. Lincoln with plenty of players back. The ball is down the channel. Across will come O'Connor and will clear it, and now it's for Regan Paul. And Paul inside his own half, 3 Chippenham players around him. He chips it down the channel. I think it loops out of play, and it does. And it's going to be a throw for the home side. And yeah, be in no doubt if you've been away doing some early Christmas shopping or whatever this afternoon, you just tuned in to Radio Lincolnshire and you think, well, was it against the run of play? Well, you'd have to say if there was a team that was going to get a goal in the first half, it was Chippenham. The Imps travelling support, making plenty of noise, trying to encourage the team, but definitely a change in formation. A switch to a 4, and they were having plenty of the ball. They needed more bodies further forward. Hopefully Oakley Booth can change that and run through the middle. A bit of a heavy touch from one of the Imps players. I think that was Sorensen. And Oakley Booth chases after it right the way to the edge of the penalty. It's gathered in by the keeper, and we're going to see lots of this now, understandably, from the home team. Not rushing in possession, eating up that clock.
Yeah, you just hope Oakley Booth can just play a little bit further forward and be able to get in a little pocket so he can get on a half turn.
O'Connor chips it down the channel and Burnham is after it, and he'll keep it in play. And he's attacking the penalty. Can Lincoln City get a goal back? Burnham cuts inside, chips it into the box right across the penalty area. There were plenty of Lincoln players forward, but it avoided all of them. And Chippenham will tidy things up and look to clear downfield, but Lincoln win it back thanks to a challenge from Regan Paul, the captain. A bit more urgency from Lincoln. Bishop into the penalty, plays it across the area. Draper stretches a boot for it, can't get hold of it. Comes back to Robson. Robson, a left-footed ball, it's a decent one, into the box, headed and hits the crossbar. I think it might have been a save from the keeper, forcing it onto the crossbar. And Lincoln have shown more urgency in the last couple of minutes than they showed in the first 45.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Second phases, third phases, a great ball in from Jamie Robson. Couldn't see who was a header at the far post, but they were queuing up at the far post, and I think it's a fantastic save from Chippenham's goalkeeper. Straight at him. If it was a yard either side of him, he wouldn't have got anywhere near it. but that was much better, much more intensity from Lincoln to go forward and go and hurt the Chippenham defence.
Lincoln City have lost possession. The ball's gone out of play. Also very noticeable that O'Connor and Ayoma push right up, trying to pen the home side in perhaps a bit more than they were in the first half. There's a bit more urgency. It shouldn't take a team to coach, but he appears to have done that. But Lincoln still 1-0 down here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. And the throw down the line, it's headed away by Robson, back towards the penalty, and then smashed long downfield. And Lincoln are going to have to be careful here. And that is very calm from Jordan Wright. And he lances the ball downfield straight into a good first touch from Vernon. And Vernon now spreads it for Regan Poole. This is much better from Lincoln, moving the ball with a bit of purpose into the feet of Bishop. And he turns and he runs across the edge of the penalty area, looks for support. And he's got it now from Sanders and Poole and back to Bishop. Number 10 trying to get City going. And the ball's into the box, but it's picked off. But it comes back to Bishop again. And then more than happy to smash the ball downfield the home side. And Jordan Wright has to chase after it. That ball's going to roll out of play for a goal kick. But it's an improved imps at the moment.
Yep, I think Oakley Booth, the change of shape is allowed more midfield players, Sanders and Lass Sorensen, just to have maybe a little bit more freedom. And there's a great run from Oakley Booth, just as we were saying that.
Yeah, caught out a little, unfortunately, by the bounce of the ball, but it was, as Mark said, a good run on the edge of the box. Cleared away, but Lincoln will win it back again, and Sanders, he nearly jumped into the challenge, but thankfully he avoided it, because he could have got himself in trouble, and it's now Chippenham moving it down the channel. That's an excellent run. It stretches Ayoma, and that's good, strong defending for the Lincoln City defender, who wins a throw.
Yeah, good play from TJ. Just up the pace, turned the afterburners on, and was able just to turn out with the ball. Good play from him.
Should say, if he'd been I understand there's been the odd drop out in the line to us. The 4G is being overused here, and we're relying on 4G and 5G, which we don't normally use for Lincoln games this afternoon. So if there has been the odd little drop out, apologies for that, but trust me, other people aren't even getting any reception. Long ball forward from the Imps, picked off by the keeper. Good decisive work from him. Still 0-0 here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire.
Yeah, just looking at Charles Vernon and Teddy Bishop's starting position, they're just a little bit narrower, so a little bit closer to Freddie Draper. And that might help us keep the ball in the top end of the pitch if it goes up to Draper, because there'll be more people around him.
And it's O'Connor, chases after it and retrieves the ball. Lincoln fans making the noise behind the goal away to our left, the one that Lincoln are attacking. And it is with Poole, the captain, and Ayoma to O'Connor, and across to Robson, the fullback, just inside the Chippenham half, back to O'Connor, and he drills a ball forward, and it could turn into a pass, just slightly too long for an excellent run from Bishop.
Yeah, great run from Bishop, good pick out from Paulie O'Connor. Just needed, if anybody's a golfer, just needed to come down the club. And that would have been a perfect pass. Really unlucky from the pair of them. But again, it's like I say, Teddy Bishop's just playing a little bit narrower, as is Charles Vernon. He's just going to try and play in between the fullback and the centre halves for Chippenham.
Chippenham keeper clears. Headed away by O'Connor. Bounces up. And Bishop was trying to get near it, couldn't. And Chippenham hold on to it and play the ball into the Lincoln half. Poole heads clear. Sorensen tidies things up. Sanders in as well. He's just forced to go backwards all the way to right. And then across to Jackson. And it's O'Connor. And it's O'Connor to Robson. Now Robson back to O'Connor. Lincoln with this back four this afternoon now in the second half. Not sure what happened to O'Connor then. He just paused, but players continued without him. He looks okay now. Back to Poole. Ayoma. Only one outfield player not inside the Chippenham half, and that's O'Connor. And Poole driving forward. Ball bobbles away from him. And I'm sure some of the Chippenham players and fans can't help but think of their moment potentially this afternoon, but Lincoln will want to stop that. They're 1-0 down as it's played in, and it's a heavy touch, but actually Lincoln have moved that really sharply. A decent ball in the box, cleared away by Chippenham. Lincoln asking a few more questions, and now it's a chance for Chippenham to chase downfield. O'Connor tidies up and does really well. And it looks like we're going to have an afternoon mostly now of Lincoln penning Chippenham in, really, although that was, to be fair, how the first half started.
Yeah, Oakley Booth's just making some runs, which we weren't seeing in the first half. He's just trying to get onto Chippenham's back four by dragging.
But it all came from the centre half making a run for Chippenham, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's Oakley Booth's just finding himself in little pockets of space, and he's trying to make forward runs as well. Charles Vernon has had no change out of the right back in front of us here, but like I keep saying, Oakley Booth's just sprinting and trying to extend the midfield areas for Lincoln. He's got himself in a couple of good positions already.
Chippenham doing what you'd expect them to do. Taking the time down on the clock. Getting a hurry up from the officials, which therefore takes the time down on the clock. It's going to be a Chippenham throw towards the halfway line. Long throw down for up. And then it takes a little bit of a skew off the captain of Chippenham's boot. But it's tidied up by the home team, and they will clear over the halfway line. Lincoln have had that little resurgence, and now Chippenham getting their way into the Imps half. Oakley Booth trying to close it down, and O'Connor should tidy things up. And that was a careless kick back downfield, but he got away with it because Wright came out, gathered it in, and plays it to Aoma. And then all the captain across to O'Connor. And he's now advancing and playing it out to Robson inside the Chippenham half. City still looking for the goal back, and the ball's into the box. Draper is being forced wide, looking for the cross, looking for the corner, looking for support. Gets it back to Robson, and then Oakley Booth picks it up. Lincoln hold on to it. They're halfway inside the Chippenham half. O'Connor thinks about a high ball, but plays it back to Oakley Booth, and then back to O'Connor. Lincoln going backwards at the moment. And now Aoma inside his own half, inside the centre circle, advances into the Chippenham half. Back to O'Connor, pace just dipping a little bit. And O'Connor looking for options in front to Robson. Robson inside to Vernon, and Robson back into O'Connor, and O'Connor to Aoma. City, plenty of possession, but can they make it pay? In towards Oakley Booth, who goes down. Referee not in the tiniest bit interested, and it's going to be Chippenham to bring it away. Oakley Booth still on the turf, and Lincoln defending a man down, and that's a ball over the top, and he's not offside, and he is in behind, but the ball checks on him, and Aoma tidies it up. And I could tell from my angle here he wasn't offside, but now Lincoln trying to break through, and it's a terrific run for Regan Paul, who is brought down. That's agricultural, to say the least, from the Chippenham captain. It'll be at the very least a yellow card. It's not a good challenge.
No, that's not a good challenge. That was a lunge from the number 4.
Captain on captain.
Yeah. Regan Paul just put it in front of him just slightly, and I think he thought he could get there. The skipper,
Hamilton, the captain.
Yeah, the skipper for Chippenham, but he couldn't. He was just a fraction late, and at the pace Regan Paul was running at, it looks actually probably worse than what it was, but a definite booking.
Is a Lincoln City free kick in line with the edge of the centre circle inside the Chippenham half. Vernon is on it. Can Lincoln find the goal to level things here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire? 1-0 to Chippenham. An excellent back heel past Jordan Wright. There's going to be a change on the Chippenham bench soon. Vernon's ball is high into the penalty area. Regan Paul heads it down, and the shot comes in, but it goes wide. And it remains 1-0 to Chippenham.
Yeah, Regan Paul with a good header back across goal. I think the ball just held up on him a little bit. I think he was trying to go for goal, but he just held up on him a little bit. And I think it was Teddy Bishop with a left foot shot that goes past the post. But Oakley Booth just on his haunches from that. Yeah, from that ball that got played up top to him, and he got clattered in the penalty area. And he's just not quite recovered from that at the moment. I hope he's okay, because he's made a slight difference to us already going forward. There's Oakley Booth.
Stopping plays gives a chance to remind you that Mark is back on the road with Rob Tuesday night, bringing commentary of the Imps at Bristol City. And then next Saturday, the small matter of Plymouth, who've had a fantastic start to the season up against the Imps. Mind you, Stamford leading 2-1 against Cambridge City. Grantham leading as well. Boston United leading, sadly, Lincoln City from their goal to 0 down. The good news is that Oakley Booth is back up. He's taking a swig of water and he's running across to the opposite side to where the dugouts are. So I'm assuming that means he's going to be okay, as we are waiting for, I think, a change for the home side as well. It's on the opposite side of the ground to us. So we'll see what that change is. It looks like it might be Tom Mayhew. Mayhew is going to come off. It's very hard. There's no, they're not going to do it. Decided against that. Right, fine. So we're back underway. Chippenham clear long downfield. One for them to chase after, and they've managed to get themselves into a useful position. But the ball has gone out of play. The assistant has his flag up. And are we going to get the change? No. Probably see more than we normally do of changes because we're on the opposite side to the benches and the fourth official. It's with O'Connor for Lincoln. Robson. Scott back to O'Connor, the Irishman. Now it's Aoma. Over that World Cup at unders level. Back to Aoma. And now it's Lincoln moving forward over the halfway line. It's quite pedestrian, then it's chipped forward by O'Connor, headed away by the Chippenham captain. And they're going to look to get it back downfield, but actually they're playing it very tidily, although it's a poor touch and Lincoln have won it back. Maybe a tired touch as well. Robson, Vernon back to the halfway line on O'Connor. O'Connor to Aoma, the ball bobbles up but he controls it well and plays it to Sanders. Paul is in front of him but he plays it into the feet of Bishop, back to Aoma. And Bishop again looking to run forward and he chips it into the penalty but overhits it and it runs through, and that little resurgence we saw from Lincoln City at the start of the second half has petered out a bit.
Yeah, she's gone a little bit flat again, hasn't it? Again, we're just keeping possession for possession's sake at the moment. Bishop trying to inject a bit of pace but got his pass horribly wrong. Oakley Booth is still struggling, I think, a little bit after that challenge. He's not moving as freely as he was, or with as much enthusiasm as he was.
Lincoln City have possession and Regan Poole drives the ball forward, looking for Vernon to chase after it. Will he catch to keep it in play? No, it skips up and Bubs, cameraman, retrieves the ball, photographer. And I was saying to him, I saw some ice hockey in the week overseas, and the photographers there have helmets on, and he tells me he's in Northern, he's fine, he doesn't need them.
Yeah, and I say, he's on his haunches again, Oakley Booth. He's not right at all. I don't know what happened, but he kind of, as a diagonal ball, when he went up with the centre half, Munson, and I just think he may have taken a knock around his head, and he is struggling. I think
it's the goal scorer Parsons who's gone off, and Greenslader's replaced him. I think there's a Lincoln change coming. There's a bit of movement on the bench, and the bench is made up of Adam Jackson, Jacob Davenport, Matty Virtue, Alicia Ahui, and Isaac Allen, who's the first-year scholar goalkeeper. Carl Rushworth is here, by the way. He's down near the front of the press area. Sure. They could have won this back now. A chance for Freddie Grave to break forward. Good challenge in midfield. And Chippenham, if this was timed right, would have been through. But it's a good win of the ball for Aoma. And Robson sprinting forward. Still going Robson. Plays it inside of him to Vernon. Back out to Robson. Lincoln City now pausing again. And it's across to Sanders. And Sanders chips it into the penalty area. Regan Poole heads it across. Cleared away by the blue shirts of Chippenham, the non-league team, leading here by a goal to 0. And Aoma, in frustration, has got involved himself, and it's cleared away again. Aoma missed his challenge. Referee has given a free kick for the home side and a chance to ease the pressure. There's definitely a change coming for Lincoln City.
Yeah, TJ Aoma just trying to...
Probably Matty Virtue, is it?
Yeah, trying to grab the game by the scruff of the neck, trying to venture forward.
There's a bit more creativity with Virtue, maybe. A little bit. And he also does a goal in him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Sanders and Sorensen a bit too similar?
Yes, I think so. I think what we got, half hour, 35 minutes to go. I think Mark Kennedy needs to change it again. I think he needs to go a little bit more positive again and get a more attacking-minded player on if we can. I'm just a little bit worried about Oakley Booth. He's really not cleared his head. Yeah, he's really not cleared his head from that, which is a real shame.
Sorensen chasing after it, but it's cleared away at the cost of a throw, is it? Or will Robson keep it in play? He does, and a heavy first touch from Robson. You hear the applause from the home fans as the Chippenham player comes sliding in to try and win it, but it remains with the red and white of Lincoln City. That change for Lincoln is imminent. City have possession with Regan Poole. Poole back to Aoma. Now he has an option of O'Connor on the halfway line. Chippenham happy to sit in. A 0-0 up here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire against the Imps. Aoma and to Sanders. Sanders turns, he's got not much movement beyond him, so he goes back to the two centre halves who are seeing a lot of the ball. O'Connor's virtually on the edge of the penalty areas as well as Chippenham get a little deep. Can Lincoln find a way through? Vernon cuts inside. It's about the shot. He's going to have another go, is he? Dances into the penalty. Still Vernon going. And it's cleared away by Chippenham. End up running down a blind alley in the end. Good throw to the Imps.
Yeah, he was a bit unlucky, to be fair to him, because the first shot got blocked and it fell to him. A great little bit of quick feet from him. And then he just got crowded out. From Charles Vernon.
Down with an injury, which is what you would expect. We've seen that with the Imps over the years, certainly under the Cowleys. I'm not suggesting that he's not injured, but it will be an opportune moment for an injury as it's now 1-1 Peterborough against Boston after 54 minutes, and also 1-1 in the Grantham game. Zach Atkinson scoring for Concert. Concert 1, Grantham Town 1. Stanford leading by 2-1 against Cambridge City. Here Lincoln City are 0-0 down, and we are going to get a change for the Imps. I'm just trying to see who it is. It's Teddy Bishop, which I can kind of understand.
Yeah.
Because he's only just coming back and you wouldn't run him past the hour. But quite how they're going to line up, and I mean, Bishop had slipped out of the game, but where's the goal going to come from?
It's a difficult one because you don't want to overstretch a player that's coming back from injury and causing more injury or more stress on his body. There's other games coming up. Obviously, this is important, of course it is, but it's one of them where you've got to try and protect the player as well.
Yeah.
So
it's just hard to see where the goal comes from at the moment, isn't it?
It is. We've been saying that for an hour now, Michael. So we had that little brief response 5 minutes after half time, but since then, really not caused Chippenham too many problems again.
Long ball downfield, and City going to try and keep it in play. Robson runs across, and it is going to be a what? What's he given now?
Goal kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so where do we go from here? We've got 25 minutes left.
Yeah.
And
has the keeper made a save?
He made that
one where he pushed onto the crossbar.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's it. One good ball in the box from Jamie Robson, and then that little half shot from Charles Vernon in the first half. Apart from that, we've not really caused Chippenham too many problems. As Chippenham going to make another substitution here.
Yep, they certainly are. It's going to be Joe Hanks who comes off. And I'll leave it to the announcer to say he's coming on. Joe Hanks coming off. And it is quite understandably taking his time, applauding everyone. And another minute will tick out of the game.
And coming on for the Bluebirds, number 8, Callum Gunnar!
Well, there you go, he's done it for us.
Yeah, that just shows they're just going to
sit in,
keep the defensive shape. They're going to say to us, come on in, see if you can break us down. You've not been able to so far.
There's no hiding the fact it's been a disappointing afternoon so far for Lincoln City. That's an understatement. Oh, as a Chippenham player, a tired swing of the right boot, and he comes off the side and goes out for a throw.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a tired swing at the ball. Is that a sign that they are tiring? I hope so, because we need to get ourselves back in this game.
Robson back to O'Connor. It's League One against National League South. Somewhat 78 odd places between them. be some scalp. Chippenham have never been to the second round proper of the FA Cup. Are they going to do it at Lincoln City's expense? Lincoln, of course, had that famous giant killing a few years ago. I'm sure many of you remember at Turf Moor. Sometimes it comes back and it's against you. Well, Lincoln are going to try and prove this wrong. Virtue inside the penalty area. A bit of a fierce exchange of passes, and Chippenham win it back, and they're trying to spring an attack. They got a runner through the middle, but the Imps win it back. They are getting plenty of possession, these red and white shirts. They're just struggling to make it actually count. Getting it wide to the right-hand side. City pushing forward again. And it's with O'Connor. O'Connor slides it into the penalty area, but it's away, but it nearly breaks through Oakley Booth, and it's just a little bit of tired clearances from the home side. O'Connor goes down, the referee says nothing doing, and Chippenham have got a man free. There's one running in the area. He looks for the pass. Wright comes running out and gathers it in. O'Connor was looking for the foul. It wasn't a foul for me.
No, it wasn't a foul. Absolutely not a foul. Just a lack
could have been curtains.
A little lack of pace from Paulie O'Connor there. Got caught out. And Jamie Robson just did enough on the substitute to stop him squaring it.
Hits it long. And
it's just not happening for us at the moment.
Nope.
Paulie O'Connor having the right go at the linesman. I didn't think it was a foul, I have to say.
Paulie O'Connor getting a response from the fans around us.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a foul.
No.
I think he went down looking for it, and the referee wasn't, well, the assistant referee who was closest wasn't interested.
Yeah. Where's this goal going to come from, Michael?
I don't know at the moment, I'll be honest.
It's a struggle to watch it.
Well, at the moment, in this team, there's only 2 players have scored this season. I think that's right. Vernham in a league, in a cup game, and Virtue in that 6-3 at Bristol Rovers. Excellent bit of work from Oakley Booth, and he's held on to it. He felt he was fouled. Referee not interested, and Chippenham will bring it away. I can't tell you whether it was a foul because it was behind 3 pillars. And now O'Connor could be going in the book. His frustration is taking it out.
Yeah, Paulie O'Connor's just got to be a bit careful. He's lost his head a little bit of lack of discipline from him. He's just got to be careful. We know he's a little bit of a hothead at times, but he's just got to be careful.
He's having a word. Or the referee, I should say, is having a word. Regan Poole, the Imps captain's gone across as well.
Just the little things aren't breaking for us in this game.
If they take the free kick from here, this is an excellent piece of work from Chippenham.
The referee's not going to allow
that. They
advance
it a good 5 metres.
Yeah. They're just going to kill the game, just going to take their time.
They're doing everything you would, if we were talking about a Gainsborough or a Boston.
I'll be saying to them, slow the game down. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, stick things in corners, make Lincoln turn round. You know, all the stuff you do as a team that's not hanging on as such, but you up with a big scout. You're going to try and be as professional as you can because you want to keep this 1-0 lead, and it's up to us to break them down, and we haven't been good enough at the moment.
Yeah, let's not underline the fact that Chippenham are a team that are 19th in their league. It's not like they're flying away and a formed team. There's an excellent run from Regan Poole, and it's found. He's inside the area. And just the touch just let him down. It's cleared away for a corner, but it's a good ball and a run from Poole.
Yeah, it was. Just at first touch, his chest just takes it back into the defender, which allows the defender just to get a little bit on it and push it out for a corner. If he'd have chested it in front of him, yeah, he's just actioning it now. If he'd have chested it in front of him, he was in on goal.
They consider 1-0 down, corner. Can they get the goal to level things off here? They'd be relieved if they could. Ball into the box. O'Connor goes up for the header. It's loose inside the area. It should be cleared away by Chippenham, but City get another chance to get the ball in the box. Vernham to the back post. Keeper holds onto it. Very good from the keeper. Lots of pushing and shoving between defenders, attacking defenders for Lincoln and the defenders for Chippenham. Chippenham have come away with it, but better from the Imps, at least asking some questions.
Yep.
And I think, is it O'Connor again? He's boiling, isn't he?
Yeah, it was O'Connor against Monkton, the centre half. They were having a real grappling match at the far post.
Yeah, Carter O'Connor.
And like I say, he's just got to keep his discipline here. The centre half for us.
I don't think there's any doubt that players care about it. It's just that
I'm the world's worst for keeping my emotions in check when things are either going wrong or badly. as my discipline record would tell. But it's important you try and do that. You try and keep your discipline.
And Lincoln know that they are in a hole at the moment, a hole to some extent they've dug themselves. And they need to find a way out of it. 1-0 down here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. I think they'd snap your hand off at the replay. If you'd said that at the start of play, they wouldn't. But at the moment, they'd tap your hand off for anything.
I said just don't get beat here. And that's really important now. Of course it is. It's a little bit of an understatement. But I said just don't get beat. And at the moment, they are. And they've got to find a way to unlock this stubborn Chippenham defence.
Long ball looking for Robson, goes over the heads of everyone. Robson should keep this in play, wide, and a lovely little touch, and he gets across inside the area. Chippenham, though, will clear.
So little things like that, Michael, like he's stretching for it, the Chippenham defender, and the touch just takes it straight to him. It could have gone anywhere, that, and it's just the little things aren't happening for us.
Paulie O'Connor's got plenty of friends here. He's getting a reaction every time he touches the ball. As Regan Poole plays it back to Aoma on the halfway line. Over to O'Connor. There you go. They're in a reaction to him again, but O'Connor channels it, chips it downfield, headed inside the penalty area. A little bit of a panicky clearance from the Chippenham captain, who then falls over, and Lincoln have got it in the area, and they square it, and it's cleared away, and that kind of underlines the point, Mark.
It's just not happening. It's a great little cutback, but it's a yard behind Charles Vernon. It goes straight to the Chippenham player. Got to keep prodding and probing and trying to find this one little bit, either a quality or a mistake from Chippenham to get ourselves back in this.
O'Connor, the pantomime villain, and Regan Poole is into the area. Oh, the keeper's made the save. Lincoln players are following through, appealing for the penalty. Referee not interested. That was probably the closest Lincoln have come, and now Chippenham with a chance to break. They have 3 players involved in this. Breaking down the left-hand side, ball goes out of play.
No,
it wasn't a prolonged Poole. It wasn't a prolonged appeal for any penalty.
No, Regan Poole's done brilliant. What a great diagonal from Paulie O'Connor. Regan Poole this time with a really good touch. And he's so unlucky. The keeper's done well to come out and confront him really quickly.
Well, Regan Poole and Paulie O'Connor, 2 of the better performers this season. And they're standing up and being countered, but they haven't got a goal yet. It's a good run from Sanders. Goes for the shot. Hits the keeper. Much better from Lincoln, so he cleared away. We were right behind that. That was bang on target. But it, once again,
anywhere now for Chippenham.
Underlines your point, Mark.
It's just not happening. We've all been it. We've all seen games where things just don't fall for you in the penalty area, or little ricochets don't go your way, and it's just it's one of them at the moment. But you can't just say it's not going to be our day. You've got to push until the end.
15 minutes to go. 15 minutes from an FA Cup upset. Lincoln City in the negative way, and a positive for Chippenham. We lead by a goal to 0. O'Connor chips it again for the run of Regan Poole. He heads it back. Nobody's near him. Virtue chases after it. Ball doesn't go out of play. The Chippenham captain decides he has to clear it and run downfield. And he smashes it long, but it's picked up by Owen, and they are looking a little tired now.
Yeah, there's not a lot of resistance in terms of coming up the top end of the pitch now for Lincoln. They're able at will to have the ball in these areas, 10 yards inside Chippenham's half. There really is a good opportunity for Regan Poole. They keep hitting that diagonal, and Regan Poole keeps getting in behind the defence of Chippenham over on that far side.
Well, Chippenham have a habit of conceding in the 65th minute. We're 4 minutes in the 65th minute. Long ball into the penalty area again, and it's Regan Poole going up for it. Is he going out for a corner? It is.
Yeah, that's where they've highlighted the players on the pitch, that there's a little bit of a get out there with Regan Poole over that far side against the left back for Chippenham. He's having a lot of joy, Regan Poole, over there. He's almost playing as a right winger.
Lincoln City 2 on the halfway line. Corner then into the penalty area. Heading goal was tipped over by the keeper, and it's Regan Poole again. Another corner.
Yeah, leading by example, the skipper at the moment. Really on the front foot is Regan Poole. He's been outstanding in the last 10-15 minutes. Every single attack that we've had has come from him.
Oh, he's been a fantastic servant for Lincoln City. They need him now. They need somebody to find a goal. Ball in the box, Regan Poole heads it down again. It's loose inside the area. Shot comes in! And Lincoln City, have they found the equaliser? No, they haven't. It's been disallowed.
I don't know why the referee's given it. The player's actually fallen towards the ball, and it's a block. The Lincoln City player had every right to go for that. The Chippenham players literally dived at the feet. That's his own fault, in my opinion. That's not a foul. Why is the referee giving a foul for that? The lad has literally dived. He's tried to actually head it on the floor, and the Lincoln player's got every right to have a strike at that.
Well,
and the referee's giving a free kick.
Well, Mark, you said it. And by the way, the player's up very quickly.
I struggle to see how that is a free kick. There's a loose ball in the penalty area. The Chippenham player's fallen over, and as he's slipped and fallen over, he's tried to get his head on the ball. The Lincoln player's whacked the ball against him, and he's quite entitled to do that.
Regan Paul getting a yellow card. Controversial decision from the official.
I think it is.
But you know,
I wish I had a replay. I wish I could see a replay.
But Mark, if you have an upset, you need to think play well. Chippenham have played well. But also you need a rub of the green as well, don't you? And they've had it.
And Chippenham have had that. They have. When balls have been fizzed into the penalty area, the keeper's either pulled off a good save from Regan Paul. The ball's not quite fallen for one of us in a shooting opportunity, and then when it does, the referee gives a free kick.
Controversial moment. Time is absolutely slowly ticking by. For Chippenham, I'm sure, but for Lincoln City, it will feel like it's flying. It's been a better second half performance. There's no doubt about that. I already know, as Chippenham attack and put the ball downfield, Jordan Wright will gather it in. I don't think Jordan Wright's barely touched the ball in the second half, really.
No, he hasn't. He's had absolutely nothing to do.
I don't think I need to ask whatever happened to your man of the matches. I think we've been talking about him a lot in the last few minutes.
Yeah, he's been excellent, Regan Paul. He's the one player that has carried the fight defensively and offensively. He's in the thick of everything.
Win the ball back, and they have it on the penalty. Trying to drive in. Chippenham, though, pick it up and play it forward. And they're looking to try and spring an attack. And Lincoln have a bit of a makeshift back line. They get it back again, and then it's put out of play. It's going to be a throw for Lincoln.
Yeah,
Chippenham are going to make a change.
Yeah, Chippenham are running on empty now. You can just tell that they're lashing at balls. They can't run forward too well. So
Fusson Mady, I think it's Craig Fusson Mady is going to come on. Looks like 2 changes. It's not exactly happening very quickly.
No.
These changes. It's exactly what the home side would want. 10 minutes to go, so we've gone past the 65 minute. Well past 65 minute. My maths is terrible.
Substitution of the afternoon for the Movers, leaving the field, number 11, Alex Bray.
There we go. Change for the home side has been encouraged off. Tell you how much scrambled my brain is. My maths was terrible then when I was going. It's got 65 minutes. Miles off.
Number 3, Aaron Simpson.
Yeah, just reinforcements in and around the midfield areas for Chippenham. Just a little bit of.
Number 16, Kane Bradbury.
Yeah, just a little bit of fresher legs in that midfield area.
Number 17, Joe Parker.
What have we got left, Michael? 10?
Just over. Under, in fact,
yeah,
9 minutes.
10 minutes. The referee assessor has just let me know it's 10 minutes, as we are sitting very closely together. We're very snug.
Oakley Booth. And Sorensen drills the ball to the left-hand side, looking for Robson, headed away by a Chippenham player. And Robson, a heavy touch, but keeps it in play. Looking to get Vernham into the game. And Vernham driving down the line and wins a corner.
Yep. And Charles Vernham has kept going. I've not seen much of him, to be honest. But he's got himself a corner for his side. So it's about delivery now. Regan Paul's already shown that he can get free from his marker and head towards goal. Can the skipper save us?
Can somebody save them? Ball into the box again across the penalty area. It's going to be cleared away by Chippenham. And there's now a Lincoln player down, O'Connor, I think it is.
Yeah, I didn't see quite what happened there. He doesn't often go down.
He's a warrior.
Yeah.
He's picking himself back up, I think. No, he's still down. Now he's back up.
He'll be all right. I think he's just got a little bit of a...
It's the type of player that, a bit like the knight in Monty Python, who'd carry on fighting until the last moment. That's his character type.
He's obviously taking a blow to the face, but that won't put him off. I'm sure he'll be up for the next corner trying to head it in for us.
The referee does with the ball. I think Lincoln had possession, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I think Saracen was just going to give it back to TJ to pass forward, so just fizz it wide straight away.
Robson wide to Vernon. Robson making the overlapping run. Vernon cuts inside, right-footed ball into the penalty, headed on, and Virtue's there. Oakley Booth heads it into the area again. Oakley Booth competing for it, and the referee waves away protest for a Chippenham free kick. Ball into Oakley Booth, heavy first touch, but gets it back to O'Connor, who spreads it wide to the right-hand side into Sanders, and he plays it into the area. It's a heavy touch, but sitting there, they can't get hold of it. Trying to win it, but away with the ball will come Chippenham. And another goal now, if they can manage it, would really put this beyond Lincoln. They're charging down the field. O'Connor tracking the run. Chippenham a rare foray into the Lincoln half. I think they're thinking about the corner, but two Lincoln players attracted to the ball. Chippenham suddenly have some space, and they get hold of it. And they get the ball into the box. No, Lincoln win it back, and it's Sanders in midfield. Sanders, and then it's Lincoln with O'Connor and Aoma. It's all inside the Imps half at the moment.
Come
We've
on,
got another,
honestly.
another change coming? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is.
Lincoln have got another change lined up. Long ball downfield, looking for Oakley Booth. Ball drops from him. Oh, the shot is wide, and it remains 1-0 to Chippenham.
Oh, great forward run from Oakley Booth. Showed a desire to get in there, and just as you want him to have a little bit of composure with his left foot.
Well, I know what's happening now. It's the makeshift centre forward coming on, Adam Jackson. We heard from him at the start of the game, talked about his love of living in the city of Lincoln, and settling down. Well, he could make himself a hero today.
Yeah, get him up top, just get him to get in amongst them centre halves for Chippenham and just cause them 1 or 2 problems. They've got to do something now.
5 minutes to go, 5 minutes plus stoppage time for a moment. It's Sorensen coming off for Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson going to go straight up top.
Substitution for Lincoln City.
He's literally.
Number 21, Last Sorensen.
Here we go.
On number 5, Adam Jackson.
It is. Could be a famous moment for Chippenham. They're 5 minutes away plus stoppage time. Remember, they've had 3 attempts in the first round and not got through. This is their 4th, and is it going to be a 4th time lucky for them? Clearance downfield, ball is out of play. It's going to be a Lincoln throw, and it's back to O'Connor, and O'Connor across to Sanders, and Sanders are going to come forward, but Chippenham just blocking off his forward momentum, and he plays a really difficult ball to Robson. Robson holds on to it. Just over 2,000 here, as it's long downfield, and it's a foul from Regan Poole. Free kick, and I think Regan Poole is just slightly injured, and we're getting into the knockings. Less than 5 minutes to go.
And the dreaded nightmare of being on BBC Match of the Day as an early game is possibly going to happen here.
I think if you drive us back really slowly, Mark, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm not even going to bother looking at my phone. Absolutely not. That'll be turned off as well. No. I'm afraid on the way home. It's if you don't score goals, Michael, you don't win football matches. It's as simple as that. And this is the 8th game now where we've not scored more than 1 in a game. You're going to lose games if you keep doing that. Come on, boys.
Jamie Robson fires it forward, and it's looped high into the penalty area, headed away by a Chippenham player, and they're looking to bring it down and bring it downfield. It's a ball for O'Connor to chase after. He does well, gets across, gets it back to Jordan Wright. Jordan Wright's in 2 Chippenham players, one charging it down. The ball balloons up in the air. Thankfully for Lincoln, O'Connor is underneath it. That really would have put the icing on the cake if that had been a second goal for the non-league team, who are closing in on a famous afternoon, closing in on an upset.
Yeah, they've just been
to dream, I imagine.
Chippenham, I have to give credit to Chippenham. They've been disciplined, they've been resolute, they've been stubborn. They basically said to Lincoln, we'll get you on the counter-attack, we will cause you problems, but we're going to sit in and you see if you can beat us, see if you can play through us. And we've not been good enough to do it. And they have defended really, really well.
Jackson didn't win the long ball downfield, but City win the throw. Halfway inside the Chippenham half. 2.5 minutes to go. You can hear almost the excited chat of the fans
Yeah,
around us.
you could just see that
moment in the spotlight. Ball in the box. It breaks over everyone, and Chippenham just happy to lash the ball downfield, and Jordan Wright will retrieve it, and he plays it.
Again, Michael, the ball just doesn't fall for you.
Nope.
It comes off a defender. It could go absolutely anywhere. And every single time Chippenham repel an attack, now they're getting cheered. And the noise is just, and anticipation is going up here by the home supporters.
It's almost a happy, a hopeful smash of the ball downfield
Yeah,
at the moment.
we've literally abandoned playing through the lines. We've literally just going to go route one. Keeper comes and collects it. And we've resorted to kind of just whacking it long and trying to get second balls.
I thought that Emily was, and I know you were playing in the team, Mark, so I don't want to offend you, but I thought it was a low in terms of an FA Cup upset, but at least you got to a penalty shootout.
On a personal night, I scored in it. It doesn't mean much when you lose out on a trip to West Ham, but you have to give Chippenham credit
Absolutely.
here. I wouldn't say they've been the better side, but they've just dug in. They just dug in at the right times.
Ball into the penalty area, and it's flicked on, and it could have broken for Lincoln City, but Jackson, he's picked it up, and it's with Oakley Booth now. Oakley Booth makes her back, and he picks up a free kick.
Yeah, brilliant from Oakley Booth.
Frankly, Jordan Wright should go forward now.
Yeah, Oakley Booth does brilliantly there. Just knows the touch and the body.
A minute
to get it in between the ball and himself. And
a minute plus stoppage time. I'm going to go for about 5 minutes of stoppage time, I think.
Right, this is all about delivery, Charles Vernon.
You've got to get in the mixer.
You've got to put it in an area where we can go and attack it.
Chippenham just understandably taking the yellow card, wasting a bit of time.
Yeah,
by the time this is taken, we've got 30 seconds left on this game, plus stoppage time. The stewards are out by the Lincoln fans. Ball is, it's a terrible ball. Terrible ball.
That's a nothing free kick. Absolute nothing free kick. It's not in on goal. It doesn't give your players a chance to attack it. You've got a Benton free kick. John Beck used to say to me, if you're taking a Benton free kick wide, try and score on the inside of the far post. That way, anybody getting across it, any touches, you're going to score. Charles Vernon didn't give anybody a chance there to get on that free kick.
It's 4 minutes of stoppage time. 4 minutes from a famous moment for Chippenham and a humbling moment for Lincoln City. Even the announcer saying, come on, Chippenham. Understandable. It's a big moment for them. It's not a great moment for Lincoln City. Whilst they've been better in this second half. And Chippenham now are on the attack down the right-hand side. Will the ball stay in play? It does. They're going to play it into the box. It's cleared away from Lincoln. And Chippenham, a lot of their results at home are 1-0ers. Well, at the moment, it looks like they're going to do it again. Charging into the edge of the Lincoln penalty. City are having to defend at the moment. Chippenham, well, frankly, they've now got to throw Lincoln. And Lincoln can't take it short. They do. They take it to O'Connor, who'll be under pressure. And Robson looking to bring it away, slips over and concedes a throw, and it's, well, a bit shambolic from City at the moment. 3 minutes to go.
That's just naive, I'm afraid. You need to get the ball up the pitch. You take a short throw in, give it back to the thrower who's already marked, and then you cough possession up.
Don't be in any doubt. This is not like a fluke. They fully deserve this, for me. For all that Lincoln have played, better in the second half, it's about scoring goals. And Lincoln have not looked like it this afternoon. Still got a couple of minutes to change it. Football can look very different if you can. It's cleared away again, back to the halfway line.
They're just going to play on adrenaline now, the Chippenham players. It's literally, you're nearly so close. You're just going to run on adrenaline.
2 minutes to go. Don't forget, I'm sure many of you might have discussed tune off at full time, but the Hope and Glory podcast will be up later for you. Adam Jackson in for the challenge. Chippenham just clear it downfield, and it's 3 against 3. Chippenham charging forward. They're in behind. They're charging into the penalty. The chance to make it 2. Jordan Wright saves it.
Wow.
A minute and a half to go.
Yeah,
the noise of the home fans increasing.
Yeah, he's just going up a level every time. Chippenham player gets his head on it. That's a fantastic header from my man of the match, Lunton, who's been absolutely outstanding, but obviously I've got to give it to a Lincoln City player, which is difficult today, I have to be honest.
Yep, a bad afternoon, there's no other way of saying it.
Well, I can't wait to see what Mark Kennedy makes of this.
There's
You
a
can have
Halliburton
all the
this
possession you like, Michael, but you have to score goals in football matches. You have to cause problems. And we haven't caused enough problems here.
Another magnificent header from a Chippenham player. We are in the final minute of this game, and Lincoln are going to play this long into the penalty area. Are they going to get a get out of jail moment? It's long down. It's another terrific header from Chippenham defenders, and they are comfortably dealing with Lincoln's attacks at the moment. And they're running downfield into the Lincoln half, and they're taking the ball away from goal. 30 seconds to go, and it's hard to see anything other than a Chippenham win, a famous Chippenham win. And there's a foul. No, it's a throw for Lincoln. 30 seconds to go. It's a free kick for Lincoln, is it, or is it a throw? It's a throw. And it's thrown back to... Oh, and Jordan, what has he done now? He's got away with that one. And Chippenham now, well, they got 10 seconds to see out, and understandably they've run straight to the corner flag, fallen over, and the referee's given a goal kick. And I imagine when Jordan Wright clears downfield, that will be it. And it'll be a humiliation for City in Wiltshire. The camera phones are out ready to take pictures. The referee is inside the centre circle.
Jordan Wright, you've got to kick it long.
Plays it short,
you haven't
and
got
it
time.
is over. Lincoln City are the victims of a giant upset in the FA Cup. It's humiliation for City here in Wiltshire.
I have no words. I cannot explain what I've seen, Michael.
Terrible is what you've seen.
Chippenham deserve it. They absolutely deserve it. They were resolute. You know, we're just not good enough on the ball. We do not create enough chances. Yes, we're brilliantly defensive. You know, we don't let. We're difficult to beat. We are. But you have to score goals in football matches to win them. And we don't look like scoring goals. We don't move the ball quick enough. And you get what you deserve sometimes. And we didn't deserve to win that game today. And that is embarrassing. That is embarrassing. I'm sat here embarrassed for them, to be honest. Regan Paul, I feel sorry for a little bit for Regan Paul. He did everything he could in that second half to try and get us back in the game. I'm absolutely flabbergasted, Michael.
Lots of hands on hips from the players. I mean, there wasn't any attacking options from the bench. One of the things people will point out is it's great having the lone players, but if they can't play in cup games...
I'm just trying to gather my thoughts, Michael. I'm angry, I'm upset, and I'm stuck for words, Michael, I have to be honest. You know, I'll back these players to the hilt, you know, when they play well and when they do really good things. You know, when I've seen them perform well, I'll back them. I can't back them this afternoon. There's nothing I can say to Lincoln City fans to make them feel better. That is really not good enough, and I'm sat here embarrassed. That's the only way I can describe it.
Toothless.
And you could say, oh, we could concentrate on the league. Great, that's great. But at the moment, that hurts to say that we've got to say that.
Well, Mark, I mean, we've made a long trip. Those Lincoln City fans have made a long trip, and the inquest will be a long one tonight.
It will be. I don't want to look at my phone tonight. I really don't. You know, because there's going to be some stuff on social media that's not going to be pleasant. And people are entitled to have their views. Of course they are, and their opinions. And those opinions are going to be negative because that's all you can give that team today. It has to be negative. But fair play to Chippenham. Absolutely fair play to Chippenham.
You know, you've played at this level,
yeah.
Mark. It's a great achievement to beat a team, and, you know, several leagues above you.
And they deserve all the plaudits for that. As much as we're giving Lincoln City players a bit of stick, Chippenham have to take a huge round of applause. Their endeavour, their spirit, their courage, their defensive shape. They hurt us at times when they needed to in the first half. They deserve all the plaudits for this. And like we were saying, you know, tongue in cheek, you know, let's hope we're not first on match of the day. Well, I hope for the Chippenham players and the Chippenham Football Club that they are first on because they deserve it. They were outstanding, 1-1 today on that pitch. I thought the energy levels would drop, but they were closing Jordan right down in the last minute of extra time. Their energy levels were brilliant. Their ability on the ball at times was good. I say they deserve all the plaudits. They do.
Some might point at the moment of controversy in the penalty, but it shouldn't obscure what Chippenham have achieved and the poor performance of Lincoln City.
I just think things didn't go our way either. You know, as badly as we played and we didn't create enough chances, things didn't go well for us in the penalty area. All the ricochets, the decisions, you know, that important decision on the goal that they gave a free kick for, you know, things just didn't go our way. But when you don't pressure teams and when you don't put teams under pressure, sometimes that happens. Sometimes you don't get the run of the ball, and that's what's happened this afternoon. I'm still a little bit shell-shocked, I have to be honest.
Well, I don't want to give confidence away too much, but I wouldn't say you were confident before the game, but you were expecting.
I was expecting Lincoln to be able to move the ball quickly, to play through the lines of Chippenham and just cause the problems, but we never really caused the problems. The biggest weapon we had was Paudie O'Connor diagonal to Regan Paul, who's a right back, playing as a right winger, to try and get in behind Chippenham's defence. Apart from that, we didn't have anything. We didn't have any answers. We didn't play little 1-2s round the box. We didn't get slid down the side of the centre halves. We didn't look like scoring. Or am I watching a different game?
No, I don't disagree. I mean, there was one attacker in the squad today, wasn't there? One proper attacker in the squad today. It's a young player making his way in the game.
Who's coming back from a long injury.
Absolutely. And Teddy Bishop coming back from a long injury.
Exactly. Your two most attacking players are coming back from injuries. Charles Vernon, I don't know what he does. I don't know if he's a dribbler, a crosser, what he does with the ball. But, you know, hats off to Chippenham. They're getting all the plaudits today from the man stand.
I should just say, Mark, the Chippenham players, the reason the bursting noise, they're walking in front of us, shaking the rightful applause of the fans around us, and it's a fully deserved result. There's always two stories in the game.
Exactly.
And the story that the Nationals will talk about, the local fans here in Chippenham will talk about, is well done, Chippenham.
Yep.
The story we at BBC Radio will talk about is where were Lincoln City today. We're not good enough.
No, exactly. And they'll have a great night tonight, Chippenham lads. The bar will be rocking and they thoroughly deserve it. Like I say, I've been in this situation, you're a non-league club going to a league club and you turn them over, and it's one of the best feelings as a non-player you can have, that you go and beat a full-time outfit, especially a League One full-time outfit.
And you can't but feel happy for them. I have to say, I'm gutted, but I also see the faces of these Chippenham players, and I think of a Games for Trinity, of a Boston United, of our non-league sides having this moment. And we know, you had that draw, didn't you, with Boston United at Rochdale a couple of years, and you know what it means to clubs at that level. And for Chippenham, they have not had a chance to be in the second round of the FA Cup, and they've done it. Congratulations to them. Whatever, we're going to spend the rest of the programme dissecting what Lincoln City have been in, but we shouldn't forget the achievement of Chippenham.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just shell-shocked. I just cannot believe what I've sat and watched there. I was confident before the game. I thought, excuse me, that they would come and Lincoln would come and really play them off the park, and they haven't. They just haven't. And sometimes when you dig in as a non-league team, you work hard, you're a unit, you get your rewards, and that's exactly what's happened this afternoon.